Hey,
What's up?
it's another day.
It is.
It's another week.
It's the same day.
It's the same day
As it was this morning.
Yeah. Or this afternoon.
Also true. Also true. And now we're heading into this evening, which will also be the same day as it is right now.
Welcome to Making This My Podcast. I am Mike. He is Jimmy.
Yes.
This is the podcast where we talk about things and stuff to get to the root of what everybody's bacon is.
Indeed, indeed. And today we've got the band, for lack of a term.
Yeah.
Now, I will say as a disclaimer, we had a few Wi-Fi and audio issues because Ryan from the band was on his way home from work in a car, and Arthur was at his job.
Right.
So it was kind of back and forth. Crazily though, like when one had a problem, the other was clear.
It was
and
a
they
nice
kept
like
flip-flopping.
trade-off.
So
So it's pretty consistent.
yeah, but you might.
And you know how we roll. We're professionals.
Yeah.
So we just kind of like rolled with it.
If you hear some directions in the background, there's definitely some
GPS.
Waze is definitely happening in the background for some of it, and there's a couple little spots where it's in and out. So we do apologize for that, but you get what you get. And we had a great time hanging out with those guys. So there's no way we weren't going to let you hear the whole interview. So
absolutely,
they were fun. They were super fun.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. We got to see them live a few months back. They have a new record out. We talk all about that, the process, all that stuff. But before we get into that, what we need to do is thank our Patreons.
Yeah. Thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/Bacon is my podcast.
You know why they're on? Because of you.
Because of you guys.
And also, if you want to help keep these lights on, you can go to baconsmypodcast.com. I'm sorry, patreon.com/Bacon is my podcast. That's right. And you can see what it's all about. We have additional content. We have new songs up before they come out.
Yep.
We have all of his catalog, all of my catalog, and all of my bands, all of his bands.
Ad-free episodes, early episodes, extra episodes of tasting, cooking with, all that kind of fun stuff.
Exactly.
So check that out. See if it's something that you want to be a part of. We appreciate it. Tiers start like low prices, and it's not crazy. All it does, like you said, is it helps us keep this show free and keep this show going. So we do appreciate that. We also appreciate our friends at grillyourassoff.com and drinkwildbills.com.
That's right. And don't forget poddex.com.
Indeed. And
if you use the promo code BACON, because why?
Because bacon makes everything better.
Right. You could get 10% off your order.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Any one of those three sites. You put bacon in, it saves you 10%, and it helps us out just a little bit.
Absolutely.
So it helps you and it helps us.
Exactly. So
it helps some great products out.
Check it out. It's all good stuff. We don't promote anything that's not good. So
yeah.
We'll be honest with you, because we are not good at not being honest.
Yeah. Pretty terrible.
We pretty suck at it.
Yeah. We pretty suck at it.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, without further ado, our interview with, for lack of a term.
Now?
Now.
Okay, now.
Now.
Right now. Here we go.
Now. Nope, that was the cutoff one.
Now.
That's getting cut out. Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Now.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
All right, Jimsy. You think grilling season is over?
Almost, right?
No. Grilling season is never over because of a new sponsor of ours.
Ooh, what is it?
GrillYourAssOff.com.
I love the name already.
Yeah. It's a veteran-owned company that sells spices, barbecue sauces, cool swag, even cookbooks.
Oh, you know what? You sent me a link to that. I checked it out. That was awesome. They had some cool recipes right on their site. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's for free. But now that they're a sponsor, they've decided that if you use the promo code BACON, you get 10% off your order.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm ready. I'm definitely ordering some spices. They had a couple that looked really killer.
Yeah, and it's really, there's so many different selections that there's really a spice for everybody. The guys that are like heat heads, and even the people that just want something subtle, delicious, sweet, whatever it is, they've got something for everybody.
Awesome. Did we order any? Did we have any coming?
We've got some coming.
Nice.
And we're going to do some tasting episodes over on the Patreon.
Awesome. So
with
stick
a little
around.
Bit of grill your ass off stuff.
Stick around, everyone, because once we get those in, we're going to taste them, we're going to go through them, and then we're going to let you know what we think and maybe give you some choices that we would kind of go for.
So once again, head over to grillyourassoff.com, use that promo code BACON, and get 10% off.
Sweet.
Hey everyone, this is Kaylee Wolf, aka Callie Wolf, aka Kylie Wolf of Rivals, and you're here with Bacon is My Podcast, consuming it, eating it, being in it, wiping it on your body, and all that.
All right, that's the promo video.
Nice.
All right, cool. So
we're going right into the
right
episode.
Awesome.
The way I worked it out was this is going to come out around when your album comes out.
Oh, perfect.
In December.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So much.
Arlene and I worked it out so this way get it on the
synergy.
Yes, synergy.
Synergy.
I love that kombucha.
Yes.
I do too.
Hey guys.
Hey.
There's that radio voice again.
Yeah, radio voice.
Hey.
Radio voice Mike.
How you doing? Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. Today we've got Arthur, we've got Ryan, we've got the band For Lack of a Term. What's term? What's going on, guys?
You have a lack of a term right there.
Yeah. Well,
For lack of a term, everyone.
Yes. What's going on, guys?
How you doing?
We're hanging. Thank you.
Doing excellent. We got Ryan
en
route from his job doing some magic for the Chillins.
For the Chillins.
We got Arthur also at work.
Yes.
Yes, also at work. So thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day to sit and chill with us for a little bit. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time very much.
Thank you for
Hey,
having me.
you. Yeah.
So what's cool is besides bands that we already knew, we're working with like publicity agents and stuff like that, people behind the curtain. And so I've kind of been going, hey, if you've got bands that are doing the loop, like looking to promote what they're putting out, like even if I haven't heard them, like send me their info, like let's do this. So as it turns out, their publicists.
How you doing, bud?
Oh
you doing all right?
Their publicists
You got this, man.
was cool enough to be like, yeah, here we'll set this up. And then it turned out that you guys were playing local to us, and we actually got to see you guys
come check out a show
before we even did this interview, which was really cool.
Seriously, we really appreciated it. Especially like playing obviously, away from home. It's always iffy, as an up and coming artist, of course, to like, who's gonna come by? Are we gonna have like great crowd? We always have a good time though, but we definitely appreciated that, and thank Arlene and WTF a billion times over, because they have also been like superheroes and taken a workload off of our asses for sure.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to have also joined the fam as well. So we're not supposed to talk about that. It's in the little thing. But yeah, they're really good, and they hooked us up with these guys. And it was an awesome show. And what I can tell you is this: always check out your opening bands. Always check out your local bands. Always check out even if you're going to a show for your friend, check out the other bands too. And especially nowadays, even if you don't know them, just go to Spotify, go to Apple Music, go to YouTube. There's something there. There's always something there. And just see if you just take a taste and then go support them at the freaking shows, because that's how that's how we keep going.
Yeah, and you might get to see an awesome band like you guys, who one of the things that stood out to me while you guys were on stage was just how real you guys are. You guys were having a good time with each other, and that translates to a crowd, and that immediately makes the show more fun and more enjoyable. So that was super cool, and you guys put on a great show that night.
Yeah, really lots of energy. It was really cool.
Thank you so much. I feel like personally, when we perform, when we do any of that, I feel like that's honestly my favorite part of any show, whether I'm attending again or performing. I like to if I see the band having fun, it makes them. If I see them having fun with each other, it makes me like. It kind of lets. I like to think it lets me, like this is not just a job for them. This is like what they do. They're people too. They're boys. Like they're not showing up working with people they hate. Like, and I think that, or I guess you guys just kind of like, I guess inadvertently proven that or told me so. Just like the band. When you see that, it connects the crowd and it makes the show an overall better experience. So thank you so much.
It absolutely does. It's one thing that we even learned from our bands playing shows together and stuff. When you've got a bunch of people in a room that like each other, the whole room is lifted. The whole night is better. Yeah. Everything's more fun, And when it's just the band, that's the best in the world because people kind of check it out. When it's the lineup on the gig, when other bands like each other and stuff, it makes it a more fun experience and it makes it a more real experience. There's nothing worse than seeing a band that you were excited to see and then they look like don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Some shows are lame. Some shows are tough. They're tough to get into. Sometimes there's not enough people there. Or there was a situation with money, or there was all these things can happen. But if you go up on stage and you just have fun and do it for why you started doing it to begin with,
I think that's the secret. That's the almost like the catch-22, if you will. It's like I feel like a lot of artists are usually like, I want to make it, like I want to go up. That's the dream. That's the end goal, Right. But at the same, like I feel like sometimes people get so wrapped up in that specifically that they don't realize that so like the fun, the part you enjoy is what they're going through right now. It's entirely, and then it's like you don't realize they were the good days until after they're over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you get to be in front of somebody that you don't know, and you get to give them something that you created out of nothing, and they like it, and they want to be a part of it. That's like the greatest thing in the world. And
it's a rewarding feeling.
Being in that moment and catching it, is super important for bands to do. Try and tell people all the time to like slow down, like dig where you are, because where you are is pretty sweet.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What's that?
Oh, I just said absolutely.
Yeah, I said stop and take in the sights.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. So, you guys have an album coming out.
We do.
Welcome to your new normal.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Is it out yet?
When is it?
December, I believe.
December what?
December.
So it may or may not be out. It may or may not be out at the time that you're listening to this.
You could still hear "I'm sorry, did my back hurt your knife?"
Yes.
That's out now.
Great title, by the way.
Right.
Thank you.
Did not realize that was a like it had some like Friends connection. Like that was a thing that Ross and Rachel, like one of them said to each other. And then I looked at it.
I didn't know that till now.
Yeah, that's like a Friends quote. It's from the show Friends.
Yep.
That was news to me.
Entirely our drummer, and I didn't know until I actually read someone's write-up on the song, and they were like, the words spoken by Rachel in Friends, and I was like...
Exactly, and then I was like, I beg your pardon? What?
I was not quoting Jennifer Aniston.
Who's this Rachel? She don't know. She don't know.
But yeah, no, December is right. That is when we're dropping it all. We did this album with our friend John Clario of Not a Recording up in Montgomery. He is honestly, I want to say my favorite person that we've recorded with. He's just a super good dude. He did like Imagine Dragons, My Woman first album, Bayside, Senses Fail. So like bands that I also like grew up listening to. It was really it was kind of surreal for me, I guess, for lack of a better word. It was just because of like the work he had done, and I was like, this is really cool because he's doing our stuff, and they're songs that we've just kind of like. Obviously, we've been writing for a while, but I feel like it kind of up where our last EP left off in terms of sounds. It's like I feel like this was very much or taking a step in the direction where we want to be. Ryan's like always writing with lyrics, and he's always got like a solid like melody or riff, or even like a line that he wants to like a piano line or something. They all kind of just fall into place, but it was definitely something that the writing process at least was definitely something that I appreciated and definitely hold near and dear for what it was, just because it was super. It was honestly like a dream. It was just a pleasure to. I love you, bud.
Well, that's awesome. Like, what's your guys' writing process? Like, is it more of a band process, or is somebody usually coming in with more of an idea, and then everybody kind of jumps on there and kind of builds it together, or are people coming in with full songs? What's kind of how do you guys do it?
I a while ago tried to stop like coming in with songs completely written, because I would hear it one way in my head, kind of, and then I'd come in and Chris, our drummer, would be like, "Oh no, you know what? I think this groove would be better," and I'd be like, "I didn't even think of that. That's incredible! Oh my god!"
Right.
So I just come in with a nugget, and that's kind of I think what we all do is we come in with a nugget of an idea, because we know it's not complete until everybody sort of adds their flavor to it, so to speak. Yeah. But yeah, it's usually somebody will come in with an idea. I'll be, hey, I have this idea for a riff, and then we all expand on it. That's when we all kind of expand on it. But usually every song starts off with an idea that somebody had on their own. And then other times some songs come from like just jamming, like and those are always very exciting when you sort of just discover a song spontaneously together like that. But more often than not, somebody's coming in with an idea.
Nice. Now, when it comes to like lyrics and stuff, are you a band where like Ryan, since you're the singer, are you the one that's predominantly writing lyrics, or do you guys share in that process, or what's kind of going on there?
So I'll come in with lyrics, and then Chris will rip them to shreds, and then we'll sort of piece it back together. Me and Chris so what'll happen is I'll write them, I'll show them to him, he'll be like, I hate this, but I like some of this, and then we sort of together from there we'll come up with something that we're all happy with. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I usually get started on the process, but it's sort of almost like a board approval process. They have to go through the board, and they have to be approved by the board. The board being the other members of the band. Yeah.
Commercial break.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And before we get into this week, if one episode just isn't enough for you and you need a little bit more Bacon is My Podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast. Over there, you will get access to monthly live streams, discounts on merch, early and commercial-free access to Bacon is My Podcast episodes. Some of them are even extended surprise giveaways, additional shows, including Tasting is My Passion, and, of course, Cooking with Bacon is My Passion. And oh yeah, you get a crap ton of music. That's right, all of Jimmy and Mike's bands, previous, current, whatever it is, you'll get access to that music, demos, and much, much more. Just head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast and learn what the hoopla is all about.
Hi, I'm AJ from Werewolves, and you've been consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
That's cool. That's like we, like I said, we're both in bands and stuff, and I've always been the primary lyric writer for my band. I always came in and I was like, well, I wrote this, I have the lyrics to do it, and I've definitely come in with that idea of like, here's how I hear it in my head, and then when the band starts it, I'm like, oh, it's so much better than what I hear in my head. But lyric-wise, I've always kind of been on my own with that.
Exactly.
And then I sat down with him once to like just write some stuff, and we came up with music, and he was like, all right, you want to get some lyrics down? And I was like, excuse me, what? And I was like, I have to like go through something and hate myself and figure out how to make this work. And he was like, no, you don't. You just have to like, here's what I wrote. Here, put down the next line. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. And like, I had to learn how to do that with someone. So that's cool that you guys have that in your band already.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is obviously, you know, like trial and error. Like most band things are trial and error. You know, but like, I feel like touching back on what Ryan said before, like we're all guilty of it. We'll come in with like a set idea, and the second it varies even the slight, we're like, oh god, I would. And so we've just like, hey, this is what I like. Throw in your flair, and so with writing, definitely that's like lyrics specifically that comes in because I feel like I don't get me wrong, I appreciate all types of music and all types of like lyrics and inspiration. Like I can't honestly attest to the difficulty of writing lyrics because I've never had that put on me specifically, you know. But I've noticed like a lot of like I tell Ryan and sometimes when Chris is like, I really hate this word. Like, why did he have to say must? And I'm like, I mean, it's just, you know, it's one word, and I get it. Like, certain things you're like, I need this change, but I'm like, we live in an age where like mumble rap is a thing, and there are bands where it's like there are songs and their words, and I mean songs and bands where it's like I can't make out half of what they're saying. I know, like for you, it's like a mental thing where you're like, I hate it. I say this instead, or like even with like the album title, I feel like we were like the new normal, your new normal. We were going back for a hot minute. We were like,
right.
And I was sitting there. I was like, honestly, like 21 Pilots named an album Blurry Face. I couldn't tell you what that means. Like we're obsessing over the wrong part, you know. So I don't know. I definitely I always tell Ryan, I'm like, dude. I know with this writing process, he said, like, he was like, lyrically, I took a lot of inspiration beyond me because I've only had so many experiences. And I know he was like mentioning at one point, he was like, I feel like I write about my like relationship issues a lot. So a lot of the stuff before we were, for lack of a term, was like lyric heavy with she or her or that girl or
right.
And like I feel like I'm a broken record. It's very repetitive. And I was like, dude, I mean, you can only write so much. You have to write from the heart. Like you can't just make. I mean, I'm sure you could, but that's not what you want to do, you know. So, yeah, I feel like as far as the writing process, though, he predominantly does it. Yeah, it does go through us, but he is a big force behind that because, in his defense, when he's like, "This is what I have," and then Chris is like, "I hate this," like. Me, Chris, and Connor, we do not have anything to put in its place. We're just like, hey, we hate this. And he's like, I'll try to like, and so that's
right.
what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So going into the studio, working with a producer, how many of those songs stayed exactly the same? Like, did you go in and just record the record, or was there some input and some changes and stuff like that? Because sometimes it gets to be like a tedious, like a crazy tedious process.
And I'm actually like I love that you asked that because it gives me a little chance to go in on my buddy John because again, love the dude. He was my favorite to record with for that reason. He produced it, and not a single one of those songs sounded the way they do going in. Like they were all tweaked to some extent. They were not. None of them were like. Whether like there were melodies where he was like, he's got his ears phenomenal. So he's like, that note doesn't sound right to a point where like, it's not like I'm just like, it's like a solo or something. It's like I'm doing I'm just like backing up a chord progression or something for a part, and I'm just like single notes, and he's like, that fill, this note right here, not it, hit another one. Or that melody, what if you, instead of going high, 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 you went like, hey, let me go high, high, low, high, or like to a T. So it was writing these songs, definitely like those little adjustments here and there altered everything overall to like the final products we have now. And I appreciate him tenfold, just because I, as a musician going in to record a lot of the time, my stress is like, I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to look bad. Like, I'm not comfortable. And John, like, really quick, like, just bangs that wall down, because he's like straight up just the most humble and genuine dude. He's like, we're sitting there like making boob jokes, and he's like giggling with us, and I'm like, this is great. Like, I'm so comfortable around you. Like, so yeah, no, it was all of those songs. He definitely was like, yeah, I like that. He like listened to the playthrough, and he's like, what if we go back and we fix this, or even like getting takes out of us. Like, he's like, it's not just I can use that. It's always like, you can get a better one. I know you can get a better one. I know you can get it. And so everything is just like crisp and at its peak, and it was just a phenomenal process.
That's awesome. That's definitely like, I found it's the same thing working with a producer for the first time when we did. It was like he came in and tore some of our songs, and not necessarily tore them apart, but was definitely like, okay, let's examine why you're doing these things here. Here's what I'm hearing. And it's an outside ear. And when you're in a band and you're hearing the same thing and you're writing the same thing, you miss certain things because you're caught up in what's next, what's coming, how are we doing this?
Yeah.
And having that other person come in, especially if they know you, they vibe with you, they vibe with your music, and they have a sense of where you're going and what the vision is, then they just add to it. Like we had the same thing where it was like the music that came out of the studio was so much better than the songs when they went into the studio. Whether they were changed a lot or whether they were changed a little, there was enough there to where just that, like you said, just that thing every once in a while, just that idea of like, hey, go up instead of down here, or even change a word. You say she a lot. Why don't you change that to you or they or we? And suddenly it becomes more universal. And it's like, why didn't I think of that? Like my favorite thing is when someone listens to something and has helped me out and they offer me a suggestion. And the first thing that pops into my head is like, why didn't I think of that? What a great idea.
Well, it's fun too, because they almost turn into like another member of the band.
Mm-hmm.
They turn into a quasi member of the band. And I love when somebody will immerse themselves as opposed to just like a song factory or recording factory
guy.
Like where they go, okay, you can come in and you got 2 days to record 20 tracks, and that's that. And what we do is what we do. And it's like, all right, well, it sounds great, but
one of my like favorite things about working with him, not to cut you off, I apologize.
No,
it's all good.
Like John, I remember it was like our last day, and I can't remember what we did, but we basically like pulled like a full 180 on one song. We were like, no, we have to redo it because this would sound so much better. Like on the spot had like an interlude, like an intro idea, and maybe like an interlude or something. And these are like 8-hour days. It was our last day there because we stayed in his studio. That's one of the things he like offers when you go record with him, because it's like a living space and a studio.
Oh, cool.
And so it was like, he usually does 8-hour days, and we were like down to like the last hour. We were literally just fucking around on a guitar, and we were like, wait a minute. Like we were just, how like obviously as musicians, you'll sit there and you'll just play through something, and then you'll just like strum it differently, or like you'll click a setting and something like clicks, and you're like, whoa, like that's exactly what it was. We were like, oh my God, that's genius. Why did we not think of that? And we like raced in there, and it ended up taking like 2-3 hours. And that one day, like you would think like, or I thought at least based off prior knowledge with recording, that he would be like, all right, well, like, I'm real sorry, but there's only an hour left. John was like, that's great. Yeah, hop in there. Do it. And so we're like, go. And so we like went in there, and it ended up taking like 3 hours, and he went 3 hours over. He wasn't like, okay, we'll just pay me an extra $30. He was like, you're all good. We got it. Like, I'm going to get these done. I'm going to get them sent to you. Like, get home safe, please. Like, let me know how everything goes. Shoot me a text, you know. And it's just
that's awesome.
That goes a long way in my book, you know, just because it's like, I know you give a shit. Like, you're not just like, I can make a record, or I can get,
you're
like,
here to make a great record too. You know,
exactly. And I just can't. I praise that man. He's like he's just a wonder to work with.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, and the song sounds great.
Right.
You know, so I mean, like, it shows that there's that there's definitely, you know, and there's definitely a sonic jump in your guys' music, and like, it sounds, I don't know, it sounds like he gets it, you know. It's like, and it's definitely a progression, which is awesome.
More polished.
Like, that's what it should be. Every record should be better than the last record, and at least,
that's
you know.
I hate listening to someone's discography, and I'm like, these are really good, and then the other, like, the most recent one sounds like he recorded it on his phone in a garage next to a band. Like, it irks the shit out of me. But yeah, no, it was phenomenal.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. You started by playing guitar. You're the bassist of the band. For those who don't know, you started playing a guitar. How did you get stuck playing bass?
Honestly, it was realistic because before, for lack of a term, abbreviated is float, which is what we formerly went by. And that was like a different lineup, like different EPs, the whole nine. Some of our stuff is probably still on Spotify if you look it up. But they were like, and we're still good friends with the dude, like, love him to death, but they were just having issues with their old bassist, and they were like, and at the time I was actually playing bass in a metalcore band because we lost our bassist, and they were like, all right, our frontman was like, I'll just play the rhythm, like, you just hop on bass for like these next few shows, whatever. And so Chris had come to that show, and like, Ryan, I don't think me and Ryan weren't friends yet, I don't think, because when I first met Ryan, full disclosure, I hated him, and he knows that. I was like, honestly, I couldn't stand you when we first met. Now, you're my boy. Like, he, like, I was.
That's
like,
how we started too.
I was playing bass at some show, and Chris was like, "Yeah, we might have to get rid of our bassist." And I was like, "Damn, sucks to suck. What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "Would you want to fill in?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." But I ended up obviously doing it. You know, like, I was just obviously, you know, being a dick, but I ended up doing it. And that time, because that was actually the second time I had tried to join this project, but I originally tried to join as a guitarist when they had like 3 people who could play guitar already. So it was kind of like an abundance of guitarists for no reason. So, and I was, full disclosure, probably the worst out of all of them, because like Ryan's writing was already like way ahead of mine, and I was very much metalcore. Like, that was in my veins through and through. I knew how to write heavy, I knew how to play heavy, I knew how to play fast, and that's what I wanted to do. But the second time around, I definitely, like, they asked me to fill in on bass, and by that point, like, a couple years had gone by, and we were all working the same job actually, and they came up to me at like our POS, and they were like, "Hey, so full disclosure, we just like having you around. Do you want to just join?" And I was like, "Okay," and it's just been like running. Like, I actually ended up leaving the metalcore band, like, conveniently. I think I left the band I was in, and then like in an hour they walked in and they were like, they didn't even know yet, and they were like, "I know you're in a band." I was like, "I actually just left." They're like, "Oh, would you want to join another one?" And I was like, so yeah, it was just kind of like it's just, I guess it just really I really chalk it up to, it's way easier to find a guitarist than it is a bassist. So everyone's like, "You play bass? Come play. Let's hang." So
now when you write and everything, do you write with guitar in mind as well, or do you kind of stick just to like bass stuff with this band?
You know, every time I write, it is like a lot of my bass lines were things I was fiddling with on my acoustic guitar at home. So it's like when Ryan's like becoming with nuggets of ideas, like there's a song on the album where it was literally just me like fiddling with fiddling on my acoustic guitar, just kind of like power chords, you know, just a little riff, little chord progression, whatever. And it ended up being it ended up being one of the songs. And so that's how I've done all of my writing. I actually don't play them on a bass just because I like, with guitar, I feel like I have a little more range. My ear's a little more depth to that. So then I can kind of fine tune it. It's like I write the guitar riff and then I pass it to Ryan. And it's like, because I know exactly what it is, I can build a bass riff around that.
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan also does help a fuck ton with bass riffs, just because I've always been like, coming from the music I listen to, like a lot of the bass in that genre is very simple, very straightforward, just kind of follows the guitar. And Ryan is like, he loves the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who's got Flea.
Right.
So he's doing fills, he's slapping, he's plucking, like the whole nine. And Ryan's like, yo, what if you did this in between that, like pause right there? Like, I don't want you to just follow the guitar. I feel like that's boring. You know, you can do more. I've seen you do more. You should. And so he definitely brings that out of me. And he's like, right there, like do a or something. And he's like, that you kill that. And so it's definitely more of it's written on guitar, but it's a lot of the fills and stuff in the final product is a joint process with like specifically Ryan and myself.
That's cool. Kind of like okay, so I wrote this on guitar and now let's make it bass. You know, kind of like, here's my progression. Now let's make it bass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Very cool.
So right now, for all the listeners, you've only been hearing Arthur because Ryan was in the subway.
Yes.
You might have heard it. So right now, we have to pay some bills with our sponsor, Poddex. So Arthur, you're going to be subject to another question.
Okay.
So basically what Poddex is it's an icebreaker. It's almost like Cards Against Humanity. At one time, it was a little cleaner until recently when they just put out their more risque. Oh, there's Ryan. There's Ryan.
Just in time.
My phone died.
What's up, bud?
Charging it. All right.
That's all right. You are severely underdressed now, sir. What happened?
I can only be dapper for so long, man.
Oh, you know what? I get it.
That's the first costume change.
Too big, you know.
You beat us to costume changes.
You have done the very first costume change in Bacon's My Podcast history.
And that is my Bacon. Quick wardrobe change.
That is fantastic.
You could very possibly be up for a BIMP award.
You could win an award, possibly.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. We got stuff coming up.
Who do I thank? Oh, man.
Well, don't go right in that thing yet. You haven't been nominated yet.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? A head in a jar helps with the nomination.
Yes,
also.
I agree.
That's
I agree.
Great.
So, yeah, what we were just telling Arthur is we're going to pay some bills. We are sponsored by Poddex. They are decks with different questions. They break ice. They help with podcasters that don't talk tons like we do.
Right.
And, it just kind of helps you get started.
Awesome.
Yeah, so here's the decks. We have our interview deck 2. We have our
What the heck
deck. We have our brand new decks. We have our How Dare You deck. We have our What the Fuck deck. And then we have our Would You Rather deck. So
gentlemen,
you guys get to pick from which deck you would like a question, and then we will get you said question.
Yes.
All right. Well, now Arthur's gone, so I am gonna. I will take. I like the Would You Rather. I like that one.
Would you rather?
That's a fan favorite.
That's a good one. So Mike is going to shuffle because I cannot. And while he's doing that, I will let you know that if you go to poddex.com, you can check out not only all the decks of cards. They're not expensive. They're very cool. The company's very cool. And they have T-shirts, they have swag, they have stickers, all kinds of fun stuff for new podcasters or anybody that just wants to like kind of grab something and have fun questions and fun icebreakers and stuff like that. Right now, if you go there and you use the promo code BACON, you can get 10% off your entire order. So definitely do that and check it out.
So what we're going to do here,
Arthur, Ryan chose the Would You Rather deck.
You're going to be able to pick your own deck.
You will pick your own deck, but now
your own question.
Yep. So Ryan, my finger is going from right to left, your left to right. You tell me when to stop, and you got a question, sir.
Hey, you stop right now.
I stopped right now. All right. Weird question. Would you rather, Ryan, have your jaws wired shut for a month, drinking only out of a straw, or have to wear an eye patch for an entire year?
I'd probably do the eye patch for the year.
Pirates are awesome.
Having your jaw wired, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Kanye did it.
Imagine how bad your breath is going to be. Like when you unwire that bad boy. Ooh,
yeah.
That's going to be some stank breath, man.
Mouthwash.
I do the eye patch because I think the eye patch will make me look cool and distinguished.
You can make an eye patch, though. You cannot make a wired jaw.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're like, hey, what's up, pal?
Everybody thinks you're being aggressive.
You're being like really angry.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with eye patch.
All right.
Arthur, we have the interview deck 2. We have what the heck, would you rather, how dare you, or what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Okay.
What the fuck it is.
It is the first time we're actually asking a question on air because we tried with my children and I read the first question and I said, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, we were going to have his kids ask us questions on our Patreon from the What the Fuck deck, and he put a stop to that real quick. I didn't have a problem with it, but I don't have kids. So.
Yeah, well, you know, when the question is, where's the weirdest place you've had sex? Don't want your 8 and 5-year-old.
I would hope there's no answer to that question.
Right. Well, no, they were going to ask
him. Yeah,
they were going to ask us. Yeah.
So they were going to ask their father.
Let them. Yeah. That was not going to fly. So, Arthur, you got to...
So now I'm going to go from my left to right, your right to left. You tell me when to stop.
Stop it.
He said stop it like you were gambling.
Right?
Right there.
No whammies.
Big bucks, no whammies.
This isn't even what the...
That's not really that what the fuck.
All right.
Why
this is very PG what the fuck. Do you have a favorite coffee mug? If so, what's on it and what makes it your favorite?
I have a favorite coffee mug. It says Queen, and it's my mom's, and it just makes me feel really good inside.
Nice. Well, all hail.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be right back.
All right, so we just played the fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw our new sponsor next to us at the fair.
Right.
Any of you that have ever been to festivals, one of the coolest spots to go to is that spot that's selling you sodas with the copper mugs.
Oh, they're the best.
Wild Bill's, dude.
Yes. And you don't just have to go to a fair to get their stuff anymore. You can go to drinkwildbills.com and they'll send it right to your house.
They sent that ginormous box to us.
Huge box of stuff, and it made me realize that Wild Bill's isn't just soda.
Yeah, I thought it was at first, but man, the jerky and
nuts and coffee.
Oh man, snack foods, coffee, everything.
And if you go there now, drinkwildbills.com, use the promo code BACON, of course, and you get 10% off.
Oh, dude, check it out. Stick with us because we're going to be letting you know how that coffee tastes. We're going to be doing some tasting episodes on literally everything in the box.
Yes.
So stick with us. But, dude, you've had it. You've been at fairs. I've bought it. I bought that mug. It's awesome. I love it.
And now, again, we're heading into the winter months. It's going to get a little colder. No more fairs. Just have it delivered right to your door.
Drinkwildbills.com.
Yeah.
Easy for me to say. Once. Check it out. Promo code BACON.
All right, I've been preparing my whole life for this. Hey, it's Lainey Fenney, and you are consuming Bacon is my podcast.
So you brought up Shang-Chi during the 7 questions.
Yeah. What's your feelings on Shang-Chi? Or Shang-Chi. Should we say it Shang-Chi? Because they corrected it in the movie.
It is phenomenal. I honestly will say that it is, compared to Black Widow, my favorite Marvel movie this year.
The only 2 Marvel movies this year.
What's up?
Those were the only 2.
Yeah, but we're getting more, okay? I'm saying that it's my fave now. Jeez.
But they haven't come out yet, so that doesn't make any sense.
They can't do any better. It was the best. That's what
now
I'm getting.
You mean MCU, right? Because Venom came out as well. So
MCU.
Well, I don't know. Did you see? You know what? Let me not talk about Venom.
No spoilers.
Okay.
Listen.
But yes.
Yes.
It's
yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Don't go any further.
Right.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
It's
okay.
Gonna be,
oh, you did see it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if he saw Venom yet, so I didn't want to.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gonna be my favorite until No Way Home comes out.
Agreed.
Ooh,
I
I'm
hope.
so excited.
Can you imagine if No Way Home flops?
No, I can't imagine.
No. You know what's crazy?
That.
What's crazy is here we are, and so this is coming out in December.
Right.
This is being recorded mid-October.
Right.
So we haven't seen like anything about the movie yet. We saw like 2 minutes of like nothing. And
a carefully crafted trailer.
Right. And they're basically like, you're not really going to get much else out of this. So by the time this drops, hopefully we get another trailer, but I don't know what they're going to put out there.
I was telling Arthur before they dropped the trailer, a part of me was very eager to see footage from this movie. I was like, my anticipation for this movie is like Endgame was here and Spider-Man No Way Home is here. And I almost on the back of my mind, I was like, I kind of hope we don't get a trailer. I kind of hope we just go into the movie with no context, no knowledge, no idea, and just enjoy. Everybody's enjoying it with the same sense of lack of knowledge, I guess.
Right.
I'm with that.
Me too.
I'm totally with that.
Yeah. I the trailer we got, I think was there to be confusing though. To be honest, I really think it was.
Right.
I'm very much opposite side of that coin, where it's like you spoil the whole movie. You could know exactly what's going on, and it will not be in any way, shape, or form. I just know going in that is like I personally was infuriated at the fact that we got a trailer. I was like, what? You can't even give us like Age of Ultron. I remember when Age of Ultron came out, they gave us a teaser title card. I was like, you can't even give me that.
Right.
Like, just give us the name at least. Like, they would give me nothing. And
I also think a little bit of that had to do with COVID and the restrictions. And they're like, well, we're not going to put it out if it's not going to come out. So why are we going to put all this promo into it? But then because of that, the movie has so much buzz and so much, what's going to happen? Is it going to be a multiverse kind of thing?
Right.
Is it this? Who's showing up? I think the first trailer, we got Pumpkin Bomb.
Right.
We got Alfred Molina.
Mm-hmm.
We got a peek at a Sandman.
And Electro.
And it was confirmed that Electro is going to be in it. So I think it's safe to say we know where this is headed.
Right. I think Electro was the first person that was confirmed, and that was what had people like Jamie Foxx is coming back to play the same character.
Yeah.
What? Multiverse.
What is happening? Yeah.
Well, I see that didn't really tip me off right away. It wasn't until the Alfred Molina thing came up, and I was like,
no, I completely agree, because I remember talking to Ryan about it, and Ryan was like, I swear Fox is the bad guy for this movie. I'm going to be livid. And I was like, there's no way they're just going to give us Jamie Foxx. It's Tom Holland.
Right.
And then the Doc Ock announcement came, and I was like, oh my God, I know what they're doing.
And what's awesome is Alfred Molina is to Doc Ock as Heath Ledger is to Joker.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
He didn't.
I don't know if I can jump on that one. I don't know if I can.
He didn't redefine the role. Okay, but when I think of Doc Ock, I immediately think of Alfred Molina because he did a fantastic job.
He did a
portraying
fantastic
the
job.
character. He is the character to me. But
And even
what sucked was go ahead.
Oh, you're good. My bad. Even at that, like with that being said too, the other thing that I'll back that is like Heath Ledger. He got more. Obviously, his role was kind of like it's like the staple, you know. But I think with Doc Ock that applies even more so because I don't even think of like the animated like Hello Spider, you know,
Right.
I think of him specifically, and on top of that, like Spider-Man 2 to this day, people still say is one of the best superhero. Think of all the superhero movies you've gotten.
100%. Yeah.
People still say that's one of the best superhero movies. So
Fantastic.
I would go with that he did
and it certainly wasn't because Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man.
So that one scene where he's like, holding the train, and the guy's like, "He's no older than my son," and the kids on the train are like, "We won't tell anyone." I'm like, this whole cart knows who you are.
First of all, when that guy said he's no older than my son, did he mean wow? He's no older than 35.
35. I was going to say the same thing. I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
grown
listen,
man.
He's a teenager like the people in Greece were teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, Andrew Garfield, when he played Peter Parker in the first Amazing Spider-Man, he was older than Tobey Maguire was when Tobey Maguire played in the first Spider-Man. But Andrew Garfield just looked so much younger. So I could buy Andrew Garfield, even though he was older as a high schooler. And Tobey Maguire just looked like a middle-aged man chasing a school bus.
Yeah. Well, see, this is my argument. That this is what I've said this a number of times on the show. Andrew Garfield, great Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yes.
Shit. Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And Tobey Maguire is the opposite.
Great Peter Parker. Shit Spider-Man.
And Tom Holland is both.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
He's everything.
I've had this conversation so many times. You get it.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what we get it. Yeah. At first I was kind of worried about the Spider-Verse situation, like the possibility of a multiverse Spider-Verse movie. I was initially like, every time they started throwing a name out there, I was like, no.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
But now I'm super excited.
It's like
because they haven't shown anything.
I'm counting the seconds until No Way Home comes out.
It's a big month. It's a big month. We've got a new record for lack of a term.
Yeah.
We've got the new Spider-Man. It's gonna be fucking.
Those are two big
awesome
happenings coming out this month.
Yeah. Did you guys do that on purpose?
No. That was literally just like
Rye Pie begs to differ.
If they did, I had no idea. I'm okay with it. I love Spider-Man. I'm okay with that.
Our hope is that you will play the album on your drive
on the way to see it. Yep. And then on the way home.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope I don't have to have the same conversation I had after Spider-Man 3, where it was like talking to somebody going,
too many people.
This was like trying to justify why it was sort of okay. And then realizing later on, like, no, it was trash.
That is
because I don't want to have that conversation over your awesome new record.
Yeah.
To this day, I stand by. I get why people hate that movie. That is one of my favorite films of all time.
And Arthur's out of here. So
he was like, "Gotta go." Not okay.
No, I think people are going to be like, like when all these casting announcements came out, everyone was like, "Oh, that's too many characters in this movie." Didn't they learn from Amazing Spider-Man 2 and from Spider-Man 3? You can't put too many people in a Spider-Man movie. But then you think of all the things they had to juggle in Avengers Endgame, and they killed it. So Marvel, they know how to structure a narrative. You know, what I mean?
That's the only thing that saves it.
Sony does not.
No,
not at all.
No.
So hopefully they're taking a lot of cues from Marvel. So far, I'm excited. I'm excited.
From what I understand,
awesome. I think it's going to be great. I can't fucking wait.
From what I understand, Marvel has creative control of the character, and Sony has to
Does like the
put the money
marketing or
behind
the
it.
distribution or whatever?
Yeah, they have to like fund the movie and do everything else, and there's like some sort of weird deal where well, you can use X amount of characters from our universe each,
Right. Okay.
So so they get to use Doc Strange.
Anyway, back to Shang-Chi,
because
that's where we started. I would just like to say that Shang-Chi was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
I love the hand-to-hand fights.
Oh my god, the fighting scenes were so amazing in that movie. Just that outside the building scene was incredible. Like I was blown away by a lot of the action sequences in that movie. Just insane.
Marvel does like a really good job of taking characters I know nothing about and make me like them and care about them. Like, and that was exactly the first case where that happened was like Doctor Strange. Like, I knew magic. That's all I knew. I was like, all right, Doctor Strange. But they gave depth. They gave him like an arc, like, and it's kind of like a almost like, I want to say a redemption arc, but it is and it isn't. And then it's the same here. It's like they gave me a reason. I'll be like a character I look forward to returning. They're not like, hey, here's this one guy. They're just like, here's why you like him. Here's what he can do. He's just as badass, and he's got a different set of powers. And I've got a lot of respect for that. I think that's one of my favorite things about those movies,
Yeah, I think I can't even imagine how difficult that would be to try and set up new people to be a new Avengers when you've done everything that they've done so far. And you're like, okay, we got to move on from Captain America and Iron Man and or Steve Rogers, we have to we have to create a new Avengers and make people care about them in the same way.
And
I think they did fantastic.
That was like a big worry of mine. I was like with Endgame, like I knew Endgame would be the write-off for a majority of the cast that obviously we've known for so long. So I was like, am I even going to care after Endgame? And it's like the two movies they dropped, like one was Black Widow. I was like, all right, this is probably going to segue into something else. But watch that. I was like, okay, like I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's like, it's a good thing, whatever. And then they dropped that, and I'm like, they knew what they were doing. They gave me the one first, and they're like, here's the bombshell. You're going to love this. You don't think you will? Here's the bombshell. And I think I'm a Marvel fanboy. I think everything they do is like perfect. I'm like, great, good job.
Yeah. Well, Eternals is a ballsy move. You know what I mean? To bring that in and be like, hey guys, remember the Avengers? Well, we're gonna move on from them, and here's the Eternals, a comic that most of you have never read. I'm one of those. I'm one of those people too, but I can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be. I'm just kind of like so invested in like their storytelling method that I'm like, I'm in for the ride.
And it's like I've been doing this for I've been following them for these movies for so long now that it's like exactly what you said. I'm so invested that I just don't see why would I drop off this far in the game just to be like, I don't care.
Right. Until they really shit the bed,
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna tell you my least favorite thing about Marvel is Anthony Mackie. I can't stand Anthony Mackie. But you know what? They're not bad movies. Like they definitely are. They definitely have like. It's like I don't even want like as cheesy as it sounds. Like it's literally like magic. It's movie magic. It's like they built this whole universe, this whole world, and it's like there are things I know about like fucking the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I could not tell you about in real life. I'm like, oh, Wakanda's a third world country, but they're also technologically advanced. I don't know what the third world country is in real world. Like I'm like, the Bronx, is that one? And they're like, no. Like,
did you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I did. I watched all the series. Falcon and Winter Soldier is probably my least favorite. I don't. But again, I think that's a big part of that is the Anthony Mackie thing.
Yeah. So it didn't go any way to make you like his character any better.
No. Like I saw that coming. I was kind of hoping that Bucky would hold the shield before he did, but it didn't. WandaVision was well written, but I also now hate Wanda Maximoff because of that show.
Yeah.
I just
Hashtag heal.
Yeah.
what Ryan. He got me.
Nice.
I was telling Ryan that I was like, my problem with WandaVision is essentially an angry woman playing house. She's just forcing people to play house for her. She's like, I don't have a family, so I'm gonna make one, and you have to partake. Like, it just like her character for me. Like, I don't care. Literally kill her. I don't care what we do. Loki and What If are like my top two. Like, I
Loki was
love
amazing.
Loki
was so amazing.
I love the old What If comics. So the fact that they created a What If was so awesome to me.
I didn't see them tying it together the way they did. And
that
was crazy too. Oh, and the reason that we all were like, yeah, just a second, because Ryan came in with a full-on Captain America shield.
Yes.
Which is amazing, dude.
So is that Anthony Mackie's shield?
Do you also hate Anthony Mackie?
Steve Rogers.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'll do that.
You know what? In the comic, I preferred the comics when I liked the idea of Bucky taking the shield. I did read the Falcon as Captain America comics, and I didn't really like them. I didn't really like the storyline that they did.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, it's cool. I liked the Falcon and the Winter Soldier story way better than I actually liked the comic version of him becoming Captain America, to be honest. I thought that was a cooler kind of way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of the Marvel series, I would say that's probably my least favorite also.
Yeah. It was just
Hawkeye looks pretty great.
Hawkeye looks amazing.
Hawkeye
I'm super
looks like
psyched.
a lot of fun. I think Hawkeye I'm very excited for, and then I feel like there's one show that's coming out that I'm forgetting about.
There's Moon Knight. There's She-Hulk.
Yes.
There's what's the other one? Not Moon Knight.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. I'm very excited.
There's Ironheart. There's Armor Wars.
Yep.
Armor Wars.
Secret Invasion.
Secret
Invasion. I'm psyched for too.
Secret Invasion is going to be funny. I feel like that's going to be more of a comedy thing. Just the way that they treat
thought here. I thought What If was the best Disney Plus show so far.
Dude, we were just saying, awesome. We totally loved it.
See, I like What If because it wasn't beholden to the MCU canon. They could do whatever they wanted. That's why that episode with Doctor Strange, the evil Doctor Strange, when it ended with him actually suffering the consequences of his actions, his world doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
And I was like, it would have been such a cop-out if the good Doctor Strange won. And I'd be like, okay, it was a good episode. And then they went the Marvel route. The good guy won. But the fact that there were consequences, I thought was incredible because they're not obligated to structure their narrative in a way that segues into the next project. So that's why I thought What If was my favorite. It could get wild and it could get weird.
Yeah, which was super cool.
Yeah.
So Ryan, do you think that the Marvel universe, do you think that's a handicap on them, the fact that the consequence thing? Because that's one of the big arguments all the time with in the DC universe, ideally there's consequences for actions and things like that. And in the Marvel universe, it's not, and everything's just, funny jokes and bright colors, which I disagree with on a lot because there were some consequences. But where do you land on that kind of argument?
I always feel like the stakes in Marvel movies are never really that high.
Mm-hmm.
Like take an Endgame when Thanos comes through the quantum tunnel, right, and he blows up the compound, and miraculously nobody died when he destroyed an entire building. I
wish they
think
would
plot
have
armor is pretty thick in Marvel. I still enjoy the movies, but I think Arthur's right. After Endgame, how can you possibly top that, go bigger than that? So I think, like I said, I'm more excited for Spider-Man than I was for Endgame. But I think after Spider-Man, I don't know if there's any project that really is like, oh my god, I'm bursting at the seams to watch this.
But you know what? Like with
some
What
of
If,
these DC projects though, they've got my attention.
you lost me. You lost.
Oh, dude, I just was watching DC Fandom over the weekend, and I saw the new trailer for. Oh, I was just gonna say the new Flash trailer was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and the Batman trailer, man, I'm in. I'm in. I'm not super psyched on it yet, but I'm in. I think I'm gonna love it.
I'm in a minority here because my favorite version of Batman is by far Ben Affleck. I thought he killed it.
I thought he did a great job. I thought he killed it.
He killed it as
like
Bruce
straight
Wayne
out
for
the
me.
comic Batman.
Yeah.
He looked like that. Like everyone says, Christian Bale is their favorite Batman, and I'm like, you have to be on drugs because he didn't really capture the essence of what I like.
What do you mean
about the character? I thought his movies were better.
Yes.
But I thought Ben Affleck, he had the look, he had the bulk, he had the gray suit looked awesome. So I would have been more excited for the Batman. It still looks pretty good, but it had me like, I really wish we got to see where Ben Affleck was gonna go with that.
Yeah, I was.
I liked him
for
as
that too.
I liked him as the grizzled old Batman, like the Dark Knight Rises. I didn't like Bale as the grizzled Batman because we didn't get the grizzled Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel with Affleck,
so
despite the piece of crap movie that it was, he definitely plays the grizzled Batman better.
Yeah, I think the Christian Bale movies were the best thing about those movies was the writing and the villains.
Yeah.
I think that's what you had.
My problem with like Batman movies is like, why the fuck do I never get a Robin? I want a Robin. Like,
well, you got a Robin once, and did you really?
Fair.
Fuck Robin.
Like, I just feel like all the movies
Go
are
watch
like
Titans, then, motherfucker.
Yeah, watch Titans because you get a Robin.
I got to get on that.
I don't want to watch Titans. I'll take a listen. DC. If DC did not have, if DC didn't have the Justice League, the Teen Titans, and like the Flash and Batman, I would not care about DC. But I feel like their animated films are like chef's kiss.
Oh,
their
man.
live action,
killing it.
Their live action is awful. Their shows, hate them, except for the Flash. The Flash is bad, but I like it. I don't know why. The show.
Well, because it's like intentionally campy.
Yeah,
that show.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Like, I like Green Arrow, but
I
it was
get into Arrow.
The reason why is because it was just basically, hey, we have all these villains, and we can't use Batman.
Right.
Fuck it, let's just throw
Green Arrow was Batman.
Stephen Amell in there,
but he was Batman.
He was basically Batman.
That's why I didn't like
Stephen Amell was great.
That's exactly why I didn't like Gotham, because I feel like they dove into all these characters pre-Batman, and I'm like, Batman's the reason that there are these, and he's the sole solution. So it's like, where's the end?
Right.
I happen to like some of Gotham. I actually liked it.
I watched the whole thing. I liked a lot of the episodes.
I liked the concept behind some of them. I liked the actors that portrayed some of those characters, like the guy that played Penguin and Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were great. Those guys were really good. But then, you had some guy, the Bane and some of them sucked. But the Penguin and the Riddler, they nailed it for me.
Yeah, and Selena Kyle went from like 12 years old and awkward to like 22 and super hot in like a season.
Yeah. Well, puberty does crazy things, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
You could edit that out.
Why not? She was 23.
Oh, yeah.
It's another Grease story.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
On your fitness journey, extraordinary results require extraordinary action. Your training and quality of nutrition is definitely key, but adding a well-developed nutritional supplement protocol will push your results to the next level. And that's where Legacy Sports Nutrition comes in. Legacy Sports Nutrition believes that everything you want to achieve in life can be aided by optimizing human performance. All of their formulas have been professionally developed for both men and women and are made to the highest quality standards. Legacy Sports Nutrition is a brand founded and operated by athletes who have been performing at world-class levels for decades. And when I say athletes who perform at world-class levels, I truly mean it. This is NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis's company, so you know these items are absolutely championship quality. Go to LegacySups.com and use the promo code BACONPOD, and you'll receive 10% off your order. Once again, that's LegacySups.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD for 10% off your order. Set your goals, push your limits, and leave your legacy.
This is Johnny B. Bad, the bad man of World Championship Wrestling, and you're consuming Bacon is my podcast. And if you don't like it, it's going to be a blessing to teach you a lesson.
The end, the last episode. What sucked about it was the last season. They shortened it. It was supposed to be a certain amount of shows, and then they ended up shortening it, and they rushed the last episode. The last episode could have very easily been like 2 or 3.
Right.
But they were just like, well, here's this. Then 10 years later, this happened. And then 5 years later, this happened, the end. And that's kind of how it ended.
Yeah.
And that bothered me.
Well, and I thought the dude, Jerome, that they were setting up to be the Joker, could have been a great Joker, but they blew it at the end.
Yes. Yeah. With the whole 3 strands of hair.
Yeah. Ooh. But I do want to ask both of you guys, and it's a question that I like to ask everybody that's on the show, because I want to see what you haven't had a chance to talk about yet. So for each of you, what's a topic or a thing that you wish somebody would ask you about because you know so much shit about it and nobody ever asks? What's each of your things?
I can't say there's anything that I know enough about to be super bursting to talk about.
Or even that you like to talk about like a lot, you know?
I love talking about this stuff, all of the comic book movie stuff. I can talk about that for hours. So,
nice. All right. Well, good. I'm glad we asked that then.
Yeah.
Bands. That's it. I feel like I just know a bunch of like members
I
and
love talking about that stuff.
I know a bunch of like obviously like people's discographies and shit because I follow the artists and all that. But
right.
I feel like bands, I get like I'll be like, oh, word. The frontman from Story So Far has a hardcore band too. Weird. What are the odds? And then my friends are like, who?
That's unfortunate. I have that all the time too. Like, especially at
he's
work.
That guy. He's definitely that guy.
Yeah, I have that issue all the time where I'm like, dude, I'm going to see this person. They were in this band, and they were like, who are both of them? I don't know who that is. All right.
I do like these very weird questions. I feel like the 7 questions you guys asked us in the beginning. I love that. I love getting weird. I love getting strange.
Yeah, I hate the typical ones that like you can kind of like when you say like, oh, you're doing an interview where you can.
Oh, okay. Wait. I got this. Where did you come up with the band name?
There it is.
We used to go by Float.
That's fine. So
yeah, you've answered it too many times already.
We don't like asking those questions.
It was a piggyback on what I said.
Yeah. We were saying that's the typical question that everybody asks.
Yeah. So like those, because I prefer like I feel like with interviews you want to get to know the person and obviously what they're about. So
I'm getting to know Ryan's dental work right now, which is great. You have nice teeth and you have glorious hair, my friend. You absolutely have glorious hair. What products do you use?
What products?
What's your shampoo?
Shampoo. Whatever my girlfriend's using at the time. I don't know.
That's why it's so shiny.
I'm using some L'Oreal. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I wish people asked me about my hair, man. I wish.
We all wish we had hair like you.
Same.
I wanted to grow it, and then my wife was like, well, you should trim it. And then I tried to trim it myself, and then I had to shave my head. So, no long hair yet. I'm working on it, though. And then we can have a hair off eventually.
I go back and forth. Sometimes it's a blue mohawk, and sometimes it grows long, and sometimes it's something else. Sometimes it's a pompadour. I like to get weird too, Ryan. What are you feeling that day? So, how did you get a job doing? What led you to being a magician / Spider-Man / performer? Is it just like the inherent performance love of that?
No, definitely. I had just gotten fired from a job, and I desperately needed one. And I knew a friend that had been doing this, and he said, "You only work 2 days a week, and you make a lot of money on the weekends." And I was like, I'll give it a shot. So I've actually been working with this company for like 3 years now. There's certain days where I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes kids can be big old douchebags. Please edit that out. But like one of my first parties, I dressed up as Spider-Man, and this kid starts beating me up, and it was in this like rich parent's house, and he starts hitting me like as hard as he can. And the parents, instead of saying maybe don't hit Spider-Man, they start filming it, and they're like, Spider-Man's getting his ass kicked.
Dude.
But my friend got me this job, and it's been good to me for the last 3 years. There are elements of it I enjoy, and there are other elements that are, as with any job, that are incredibly stressful. And but it's a good job to have. You sometimes you really you can tell that you've had a profound impact on a kid. So it's nice.
I hope one day you're able to punch a child. Not really, but I hope you get that feeling.
Yeah, just beat up Spider-Man. Oh yeah, well,
straight shot, right to the old gutski.
Sorry, my spidey senses went off. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Oh, I slipped.
Whoops. So, all right, guys, what we need to do now is tell our listeners, our consumers, our watchers, our everything, where can they find For Lack of a Term?
Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we got it, we're on it. What's up?
Nice.
I don't know how
you've done this before.
Yeah, maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
It's very rhythmic too. I like it. I can tell you're a bass player / guitar player /
Rhythm section.
Yeah.
All about that. Very cool, guys. Check out the new record. It's out this month. Welcome to your new normal. It's got the single, I'm Sorry. Did My Back Hurt Your Knife? Which is, again, like a comma in a song title.
Mm-hmm.
Are you fucking serious?
Chef's kiss.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. And that's why I made the proper pause.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ryan, Arthur, thank you guys so much for joining us. Just so you know, the floor is always open to you guys.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to come on. Anytime you're promoting anything, jump on. You just want to come hang out and have a drink with us, jump on. You want to talk more about modern movies, jump on.
I would love to come have a drink.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. Anytime. And thank you guys so much for spending your time with us, and everybody listening. Please go check them out. Welcome to your new normal.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having us.
And don't forget to ask yourself every single day,
what's your bacon?
What's your bacon? Welcome back, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you
that was fun.
Hanging out. And we
got to talk comics. We got to talk music.
Man, anytime I can talk to anybody about like music and comics and movies and like,
yeah, it's like hanging out with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. it's so easy. It's so fun.
It's
so
great.
Cool.
Those guys are super cool. Definitely check them out. They were great live. They brought a lot of energy. And it's a little different. You know, it's not that like straight up pop punk. It's not that like it's got a lot of layers to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of elements of different styles and different things that they bring to the table and put in their music, which is super fun to me. I love seeing that. And the biggest thing is that when you see them, they're like having a blast.
Yes. Yeah. They're always having a good time. They're playing with a bunch of friends, and it shows. It shows.
Yeah.
When somebody's having fun, you know, and we've heard it a number of times on the podcast, and we've said it, is you know, when you're having fun, it's not really a job.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's great. So Jimsy, where can people find you and your stuff?
Well, me, Jimmy G Shoes, you can find at Instagram and Twitter. I'm also on Facebook. My stuff, Craving Strange is my band, and we are at cravingstrange.net. And from there are links to everything that we do. And you can find us on Spotify and Apple Music as well. Just like you can find Bacon Is My Podcast. Hit us up with those 5-star reviews, because it helps us get seen more, and it takes you like 1 second. Like
1 second. Just going.
If you want to write something that's awesome. We'd love to hear feedback and everything. Stay in the conversation with hashtag What's Your Bacon and hashtag Bacon Is My Podcast or hashtag Bacon Is My Pod.
Yeah.
Any of those things we'll find. We'll check it out.
We'll find it. And check everything out on all the socials at Bacon Is My Pod.
Exactly. And then where can they find you?
Me personally, I am at Me My Own Self Mike on all of the socials. And then, of course, my band Something Heavy has a new single out, Surface. You could check that out on Spotify and all that good stuff. But catch us on all the socials at Something Heavy Music. And that is that.
That's awesome. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week whenever you're listening to this. And just remember to always ask yourself every single time.
One question. What is your bacon?
What's your bacon?
What's your bacon?
We know you love your weekly dose of Bacon Is My Podcast. But if you need even more bacon, make sure you head over to baconismypodcast.com, where you can engage even more with us. It's a pathway to our music, our extra content, social media pages, and most importantly, some pretty awesome swag for you to show off your bacon. Again, that's baconismypodcast.com. Listen to some tunes, pick up some merch, and tell us what your bacon is.